Welcome back. We continue with our news review this morning, and we now want to see what's happening in NASA. There was a Wiper Party aspirants forum at the Bomas of Kenya yesterday, and that's the story we want to look at. It's a top story on Citizen TV as well, titled NASA Cracks, Kalonzo Declares Undermined by ODM. Now this story, differences in the NASA coalition are spilled out into the open, with Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka claiming some forces have been undermining him with a motive of denying him the presidential ticket. Now, in a telling speech propped by similar claims by top party politicians, Musyoka demanded that any agreements on the ticket must be made in writing. This story by Sam Gituku.
I can't afford. You people call me diplomatic, wate mungwana, wacha ungwana upotee niyo mshenzi.
It's a rare outburst by the former vice president following months of talks in which the National Super Alliance has been trying to pick a presidential flag bearer. Musyoka says his demeanor could have led others to take him for granted.
I have learned my mistake. My mistake is I've been too trusting. I've assumed other people have easy way of working.
Wiper Party operatives have recently suggested that in 2013, court leaders entered a pact that will see him become the flag bearer in 2017, a promise they say has not been kept after supporting audience Raila Odinga in 2013.
This time, there will be a properly worked out agreement ambayo itamaanisha what belongs to who. We don't want ever again to hear of an unregistered agreement.
The undercurrents that have characterized the opposition coalition now threatening its unity amid claims that Musyoka is being fought from within NASA.
We want within that NASA coalition that there is respect for every coalition partner, no matter what you think of him.
In recent weeks, Musyoka and Wiper have been fighting the notion that he could bolt out of the alliance should things not go their way. With his latent activity within the party and its strongholds, Musyoka has been perceived to be chasing a different agenda.
Kalonzo Musyoka cannot only be an ally when he supports you. Kalonzo akisema nataka kuwa president, mall. Kalonzo akisema nataka kuwa president, wanalipwa na Jubilee. Please grow up.
Now look at me. At 63 years of age, why would I delay the decision to become president? Why? Mnieleze jameni. I want one person to convince me.
Even though NASA is yet to agree on the presidential flag bearer, Wiper contends the stakes are high. Machakos Senator Johnston Mudhama suggesting that a committee that has been working out modalities of picking a flag bearer may not reach a common ground.
Mimi pahali ninakaa ndani ya NASA, tuna majukumu makubwa sana ambayo yametushinda kuzungumza na tunajaribu kuyatatua. Mojawapo ni nini? Ni vile tutaingia katika uchaguzi, na pale ninakaa kazi ni ngumu, kinaumana, na matokeo mtayaona nyinyi wenyewe. Wacheni maneno ya mdomo.
In the likely event it happens that somebody else is chosen by the committee to be the flag bearer, we will still stay in NASA and support that flag bearer.
The meeting had been called by the National Elections Board, which also released the party's nomination timetable across the country. While the Wiper Party has scheduled party primaries in different counties across the country, they seem keen to arrive at the eventual candidates via consensus and save themselves time to focus on clinching the presidency. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Yes, of course, that committee that's supposed to be coming up with a flag bearer. We have one of the members here, Bwana Chris Omalwa. Now, when we hear words like undermining, lack of respect, accusations of being a mole, corruption, amelipwa na Jubilee, Mudhama says yametushinda, kazi ni ngumu, yametushinda kutatua. Every week you hear Bwana Chris Omalwa, you tell us things are looking good. You're going to have an answer in a week or so. Now, yametushinda?
I don't think we must understand the context of yametushinda. I don't think Mudhama said yametushinda. He said mambo ni magumu, challenges are there. But he said within a short period you're going to see the fruits. I sit in that committee. Yes, it's not something easy, I want to confirm, because stakes are very high. Of course, just like when you're sharing a bed with your wife, the blanket usiku when there's cold, everyone will want to push towards his side. But in the morning, you still say hi to each other. So this is actually what's happening.
You buy a bigger blanket.
You buy a bigger blanket.
No, the blanket in the event of sleeping, you know, someone can pull on one side, everybody has to pull their side. But that does not mean we have problems. So challenges are there. And as a member of that committee, I think we've made progress. And this issue is not an event, it is a process. First, one of the key achievements, we managed to get the coalition agreement, NASA being registered in line with the Political Parties Act. That was an achievement. We managed to deposit the regulations of nomination regulations with the IBC, which is an achievement. And lastly, what we're working on is about the issue of coming up with a flag bearer. And in this case, the flag bearer is not an issue of who should be or whatever the case, but the bigger picture is a pair that can be able to remove Jubilee from power. So whoever people are coming up with all sorts of allegations, who knows? Maybe it's going to be Kalonzo Musyoka. So we are telling Kenyans, please, hold on. Hold on. Let's have that respect. It's true. There are a lot of speculations going on, particularly from the Jubilee side, because they'll be happy to see NASA divided. But we want, absolutely, and we want to tell Kenyans, and Kalonzo has mentioned it several times, that he's in NASA to stay. He's not going anywhere.
But if, yes, he's in NASA to stay, but if this is a kind of rhetoric that we're going to hear from NASA, even if they all stay together, will they really form a formidable opposition?
First, I think they are mistaken from point one. They are not telling Kenyans. They are telling their members. NASA, you are telling your members whatever you are telling them. You are not telling Jubilee people. We in Jubilee are waiting for you. Whoever you bring, you can take even a year. You have taken now 4 years to decide who will be. So I wish you well. It's your internal coalition matter. But I can tell you that it is not everyone in this country who is waiting for you to name whoever you want to name. Could be among the four, you call them principals, I don't know. Could be somebody from outside. But we in Jubilee, with Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto and our troops, are ready for you anytime. Once you name your flag bearer and the deputy and the proposals of whatever you want to do, if you ever get to positions of the presidency, we are waiting for you. We'll rush you.
Yes, Bwana Otutulo, of course, the insistence is that no one will leave NASA. Bwana Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga, Moses Wetangula, and Musalia Mudavadi will all stick to the end. I mean, that may just be the case. They could stick to the end, but the kind of talk that you had from Wiper Party and very senior members of the Wiper Party, some the Secretary General telling someone, grow up. Do you think that this kind of talk will not hurt NASA, even if they all stick together?
I think the talk is already hurting NASA, because the members are actually impatient. If you listen on FM radios and everywhere, I do listen quite a number of FM radios, members of NASA are impatient. They want to see a decision made as soon as possible. For example, where I come from, Western Kenya, and my brother that may say, I mean, people have not made a decision. When I go to Western, people are asking, you people, what are you doing? We want to make a decision. But right now, people are just, I would say, rudderless. It's like a rudderless ship in the high seas. We must make a decision. And the longer we delay, the more we are complicating, because more variables are coming in. And as more variables are coming in, the chance to derail the coalition can become enormous.
Oh, my brother, before you go to Gladys, this is coming from a sober individual. Woman just a few minutes ago said, cut across as intellectually very honest, that NASA is not just being told by Jubilee that they are rudderless, but the people inside NASA who are frustrated by the indecision and confusion, sober people like him can agree easily that they are rudderless.
No.
Let me say something.
No.
We have a process towards choosing our flag bearer. It's not It's not a day you wake up and just say, so-and-so is our flag bearer. And I want to talk to our supporters. The process is ongoing. The process is, as Chris has said, he's in the committee. We have the technical committee who's supposed to choose a flag bearer. We are not yet out of time. There is still time to do that, and I hope they are going to keep within the time that we need to get our flag bearer. So it's not an easy thing because people have interests. And for you to harmonize these interests and come out with a strong force, and don't listen too much to Kabando, because what Jubilee, Kabando, my friend and brother, because what Jubilee want, Jubilee fears a united NASA, what a united NASA portends. So I want our supporters to be patient and give. Let me just
supporters are listening to Wiper Party leader using these words, the Wiper Secretary General using these words, Bwana Johnson Mudama, very senior member of the Wiper Party, saying yametushinda ni kazi ngumu.
Okay, what Mudama said is ni kazi ngumu. I don't remember the exact words, but he said something to mean that you're going to see the results. We are trying, and you're going to see the results. And what I'd like to say to our, all our coalition partners is, even as we push, I think the rhetoric should not be such that it is creating anxiety. The rhetoric should be to just make get ourselves out there and give our supporters hope. But if we bring in rhetoric that is creating anxiety, and you're right, Fred, that some of the words that are being used can create anxiety among our supporters. So I think all the partners, and particularly the burden lies with our principles more heavily. If a supporter just says something, that can be taken lightly. But the burden lies with our principles to carry themselves out in a manner that maintains the hope that our supporters have in the NASA dream. Excuse me. And it is my belief that a solution is going to be found.
I wish you could allow just one second. I will not interfere again. Just one. You see, I'm only one here. There are three. I want to tell you this. There are confessions being made on national TV. You NASA people out there, none other than the outspoken confidant of Raila Odinga, Gladys Wanga, has said that Jubilee fears a united NASA. Absolutely. Meaning that the NASA is not united now. It's not united now. Right?
No.
Number two, and I can predict, you heard what Kalonzo said there. And that should not be lost. He said that this time round, there will be a thorough agreement, and it will be clear who gets what.
Yes.
People should not wait for anything new. The team you are waiting for, and I want you to mark my word, the team you are waiting for is Raila Odinga with Kalonzo as a running mate. The same people we had 2013, we are waiting for them with Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. It will just be Kalonzo running mate, and Eastern Kenya, Ukabani, Kalonzo, Ninababili tena, tunangojea.
Now, before we give Barack Muluka a chance, we need to watch this clip, the bite by Johnson Mudama, so that we get it right. Play it again before we go to Barack Muluka.
Mimi pahali ninakaa ndani ya NASA, tuna majukumu makubwa sana ambayo yametushinda kuzungumza na tunajaribu kuyatatua. Mojawapo ni nini? Ni vile tutaingia katika.
Yes, tuna majukumu magumu ambayo yametushinda kutatua. Tunajaribu kuyaongea.
Let me now respond to that. As I said, this issue is a process, not an event. And we have the milestones that we've been achieving. And I mentioned earlier about the agreement. I mentioned about the nomination rules. And now what we are waiting is to get the flag bearer. Of course, it's a challenge because all the four principles, they have what it takes. They have an equal opportunity of being our flag bearer. But the issue is this: we want a pair that's agreeable, that is going to send Jubilee home.
Yes.
And we're almost there. I can tell you in NASA, we are smelling victory. There's a lot of panic from the Jubilee side. And you can tell from what Kabando is saying. All these movements you can see from the president, utterances, ABCD, it's because of this united NASA. You've seen the rallies, the way they've been all over. So they're going home. Yes. They are panicking. So we are telling our supporters, please, and with due respect, my friend Otichilo here, even we are telling our principals, whatever they are saying, it must be something to give people hope. Of course, everybody wants.
And the issue is exactly what the principals are saying. It's not the supporters. Because what we've been listening to is the party leader and, and the Secretary General of his party.
Yes.
Those are very senior members in the NASA
No, let me tell you one thing. As we move on.
I want to agree with you and agree with Kabando. Wilbur Otichiro, one of the more sober members of the political class. I do hope that the people of Vihiga are watching. I'm not campaigning for him, but if they don't get him for the governor, then they have thrown something very precious away.
That's a commercial.
But that's for another day. That's for another day, for some other forum. You know, a huge aircraft on the runway must get to a point where it takes off. And if it doesn't take off, it runs out of runway and it's going to crash. And this notion of NASA, I think, captured the imagination of the public. It was an exciting thing, but it might very well end up as being a 7-day wonder. I know that Mheshimiwa Malua doesn't want to hear this, Mheshimiwa Gladys doesn't want to hear this, but this is the truth, that people keep on waiting and waiting. And the fable has been told about the mountain that was pregnant. And when the moment came for the mountain to give birth, it gave birth to a very tiny mouse. And NASA might end up doing exactly that. There's a lot of equivocation. When you listen to Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, he is equivocating, he is prevaricating, he is not stating.
We might need a dictionary.
Communicate, please communicate to us.
To prevaricate.
At the university level.
It's not like he's speaking in very clear terminology. You know, I cannot use the first cousin of the word that I want to use. He's not coming out very clearly. Half the time it's as if he's telling these people here that I'm going along with you, but this time you must put it in writing what it is that you're going to give me. On the other hand, he could be talking to Jubilee, telling them that I could come over, but we must put it very clearly in writing what it is that belongs to who. The Super Alliance, from where I am, I'm expecting to be hearing not just about an alliance among these 4 people. I'm expecting to be hearing now that they have already got their candidate, and this candidate is articulating a future dream, a super dream that's going to make me a member of that alliance, an alliance between the leaders and the led. An alliance that is talking about the super highways, the super hospitals, the super economy, the super schools, and how they are going to get us into that super status. I'm not hearing that. I'm just hearing things like, I'm the best, I'm the best. And finally, before you take over, Fred, that this NASA thing seemed to have cut across communities in this country, seemed to have cut across political affiliations, that if you went to parts of even the Jubilee so-called strongholds, there are people there who are waiting for this NASA thing to actualize, and they're waiting to vote for you. But people get tired of waiting.
The electorate can actually get
but
even Kabando was waiting to see whether he would join.
Let me I think my brother Barak is talking about NASA in past tense. But NASA is present. And in fact, the runway that he's talking about,
you need to read something called Who Moved My Cheese.
I know.
You think that the cheese is still there? It has moved.
You know, the runway that he's talking about we are just about to get to the end and take off. We are just about to get there. The propaganda that is being created, that we are out of time, which time? Because there is a timeline within which we need the IBC timelines within which we need to name our presidential candidate, and that time is not up.
My concern is not even whether or not NASA will come up with a presidential flag bearer. Eventually they will. Yes,
absolutely.
The
mountain will give birth to a mouse.
Eventually they will. Whether it will convince the electorate or not, that's a different issue. I cannot determine. It is a kind of rhetoric that we're getting from the principals.
Correct.
Even before they get to that point. Will that not affect?
Yes, it will.
Even once they actually get a flag bearer, that it could affect the campaigns heading into the elections, Chilo.
Yes, it will. We need to see the principals talking with one voice. But at one place, they are talking with one voice.
Yes.
Just within a short time, they are divergent. So this is confusing the members of NASA. We must be honest. And I must be honest with myself.
And I have to thank you, Bono Chilo, for that honesty, because sometimes people just you tend to take your party position and not raise the issues as they are.
But we're also being very honest. I don't think it should be seen that because Otichilo is probably advancing a certain position, that is the only one being honest. I'm also being very honest with myself on this matter. I have already said that I am very concerned.
So then the
I have already said that the principals, the weight lies with the principals to conduct themselves in a manner that gives their supporters hope.
But you agree or not?
I'm very concerned that our principals, when they are speaking, must speak in a manner that gives our supporters hope. But I don't want to fall into the trap of saying that we are late, we don't have a principal, we will not get a principal, a flag bearer, and so on.
The issue of the Wiper Party Secretary General saying someone needs to grow up.
Now,
that is something serious when you're telling your...
Let me respond to that.
Not just NASA.
I think...
you've been speaking the whole show.
That is the Secretary General.
And he's speaking to someone within the
Secretary General is speaking as an individual. He's entitled to his own opinion. And in this case, the key person here is Kalonzo. He's a principal, and he said he's still committed under NASA. You must know that individuals have also their own interests. And for instance, the SG is going for governor position against Joe and all that. Some utterances might come because of their own personal interests. But in this case,
they should be dismissed.
Of course, I'm dismissing that. I'm dismissing that. For him to come and say he should grow up, that is maybe, I'm putting it as his own individual.
Because our imagination as a people who watch it now, if this can be seen publicly on TV, then how chaotic are the meetings?
Please, can I finish?
Yes.
Okay? The issue is about the principles. He is speaking as the Secretary General. He's a Secretary General, yes, but he has also his own interests. As I said, he's going for the gubernatorial position for Mombasa. So maybe he's speaking from that context. But overall, what we should look at is about the four principles. The four principles are committed. What I'm telling Kenyans, just hold on, we're almost there. And we are going to have the flag bearer that is going to send Jubilee home. The issue is about hope. All the principles are committed. We, the people who are in the technical committee, we've told you, yes, it's a challenge. But you're making...
Are you concerned by the utterances that...
we can't control the utterances by individuals, about individuals.
No, that's not an individual.
Focus on what is going to come out. The issue is there's still hope, and you are going to have a flag bearer that is going to send Jubilee home.
We are also making a mistake. Let's not be so preoccupied with justifications. And you're not doing justice even to the viewers. Because this individual, my colleague, Chris, is a member of that particular committee. The person he is trying to attack on TV, that he has his own regional interest, is his personal opinion, is true. It's the Secretary General of the second... Let me finish. You are dismissing Honorable Senator Omar Hassan as a person with a personal view and his personal interest, which is actually a natural thing for every politician. And he's a Secretary General of the Deputy Leader of the NASA leadership. He's the Secretary General of Wiper. And you are saying that we can dismiss that. Also, I understand, if I'm not wrong, that Omar Hassan is also a member of that particular committee. The message that is coming.
Not a member.
Let me finish my position. What we should be saying, and you can see it clearly. You have heard Gladys Wanga saying that the principals should control the rhetoric, their supporters should control their rhetoric. You have also heard him talk about those individuals talking at the hyper level should actually, control themselves. It is a confusion, it is a rudderlessness and the cluelessness that we have talked about. And I don't think we should say that Kenyans are waiting. Kenyans know that Raila will be there with his Kalonzo Musyoka like 2013, and in Jubilee, I said, we are waiting for you.
Okay.
Because you are confused and you don't know where you are going.
I want to give you an opportunity for final words. I want to give you an opportunity for final wordings because our time is up. Bwana Kabando, could that be your final remark?
No.
Okay. Let's start with Bwana Otichilo. We'll come back to you.
No, you should start with him.
Start with him. Why
not?
No,
they don't choose. You are in control.
No,
you said so.
Bwana Otichilo.
Thank you. I think we are in a very crucial period in this country. And what I want to say is that we must be sober. We must have some priority in this country. And particularly in our case of our NASA, I only hope and believe that a decision is going to be made very soon. Okay. Because the longer we wait, the longer we are making things, the worse we are making the matter to be worse. People are becoming anxious, and some are even now not able to make a decision. So I believe that our principals should take this process, sit somewhere and decide. From what I hear from my brother here, it looks like the committee is having problems. And when I hear what they are talking about, or they're like Mudama, I can see there's a problem. Okay. The principals must take the process and must make a hard decision. I know it's not going to be an easy decision. Okay. Let them make a hard decision, and with the supporters, we are ready to support them.
Thank you, Bwana Otichilo.
Now, I want to tell the Kenyans, particularly the NASA supporters, that everything is on course. Very soon you're going to have the flag bearer for NASA. I want to request them to ignore the propagandists, the likes of my friend Honorable Kabando Kabando. So, I mean, the formula is talking about that we've already decided on so and so. It's not yet there. And if at all it's going to be whatever he has said, maybe by looking at the objective criteria, so be it. But as per where we are now, of course it's challenging. What Honorable Mudama has said, it's not just a walk in the park, because these are people who have interests, these are people who have followers, these are people who have ambitions for this country. So it's not an event. It's a process that needs to be evaluated objectively, that you must look at different criteria, everything. So whoever is going to be the flag bearer with the running mate must be the people who have the capacity and the capability to send Jubilee home. And this is what it's coming on board very soon. And we are telling you guys, please, we are within the time frames of IBC. We are not led. Let's not listen to the propagandists.
Okay. Gladys Wanga.
Yeah, I think NASA supporters out there must know that there is a lot of propaganda being generated to bring NASA apart. Even from the Wiper meeting, what is not being talked about is what people like Farah said, which is that whoever the flag bearer is, we are going to rally behind that flag bearer. And that is the spirit within NASA, that whoever the flag bearer that is chosen within the time that we still have is going to be supported by every one of us. What Honorable Kalonzo spoke to was agreements, farming up agreements, which we all agree to. Let us farm up agreements. Let us move forward when it is clear what is going to happen within their coalition. Nobody has spoken to leaving the coalition. So our supporters should remain patient, should remain focused, should remain undistracted by the thieving Jubilee, who keep on calling us clueless, but they're quite the thieves here.
Kabando final before Bwana Barak Muluka wraps it up.
To you, NASA supporters,
but why do you address me?
with the confusion and with the rhetoric, just wait. Whatever is the outcome, we in Jubilee are clear. Our leader is Uhuru Kenyatta. Our deputy leader is William Ruto. Our machinery is intact, solid, and passionate moving forward. And notwithstanding the presumptive titles of principles, you have had even a member of the committee that has been bestowed with the responsibility of coming with the flag bearer and the running mate still saying it's a difficult job, Chris Wamalwa. You have seen and heard Mudhama, the sponsor of Wiper, saying kazi ni ngumu. You have heard Kalonzo Musyoka saying he cannot defer his presidential dream at 63. The confusion, the ambivalence, the indecisiveness in NASA is not a propaganda, it's a reality. Accept it and start the camping. And you, particularly in Eastern Kenya, in Ukabani, Kalonzo is not going to get a flag. Ready yourself. Our arms are open. We are going to embrace you. We are ready in Jubilee to jubilate with you. Now is the time.
You know, there's a lot of equivocation, I say again, a lot of doublespeak in this country. If we just look at what we have wrapped our minds around this morning, that you look at the fight for academic credence, you see a lot of equivocation. That on the one hand they seem to be dealing with a very serious matter, on the other hand they seem to be using it against an individual or individuals whom they want to tame and who has defeated them to tame, using all other legitimate avenues, equivocating doublespeak. That when you get into questions of violence, again you get that equivocating doublespeak. That when you get into NASA, you find equivocating prevarication, and that whatever else the leaders of NASA can do, the principals can do, they cannot stop the sun from rising and setting. And the sun is going to continue rising and setting as they continue to equivocate and to prevaricate. And what they are preparing for is something called defeat. That if they are not going to put their act together within the next few days, they are preparing for something called defeat. I say with the poet Andrew Marvel that I hear time's wings flying, and that disaster waits if they do not get it together. It may not sound like music to their ears, but I'm not here to sing to them, I'm here to tell them the truth.
Wow, Barack Muluka, no one else wraps up our news review better than Barack Muluka. Thank you so much, Barack Muluka, political analyst, Gladys Wanga, women representative, Homa Bay County, Chris Wamalwa, MP Kimenini, Wilba Otichilo, MP Emuhaya, and Kabando Wakabando, MP for Mokuruene, helping us look at the headlines this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Power Breakfast still continues. Remember, it's Tuesday, so Man Cave. Today, Willis Waburu will be hosting Roy Karuhize and his panel, Pastor Kuria, Ashila Kwamboka. They'll be discussing the issue of Ben 10s and Cougars. Yes, just before that, we're going to have another health-related interview with my colleague Joy Muvengi. For me, my name is Fred Ndimuli. Good morning.